I'm Dr. Craig Ziering. I'm the medical director of Ziering Medical, and I've been a hair restoration surgeon for over 31 years.
I'm his son, Matthew Ziering, and I've been a patient for about 4 years now.
I grew up in a family with a lot of bald men. My grandfather was bald and my father was bald at a very early age. And I knew if there was some way that I could change that, I wanted to. I just didn't want to have that same experience for me or my children. So that's when I knew I wanted to become a physician who helped people with hair loss, because this is something I saw my entire life. One of the most gratifying experiences that I've had in both my professional and personal life has been the fact that I've been able to help my son with his hair loss.
Knowing that my dad went into hair restoration because of the strong family patterns of hair loss, I knew that it was a possibility that I would experience hair loss. I just didn't realize that it would happen to me at such a young age.
Unfortunately, hair loss that's hereditary can happen really, really young. And it's not uncommon for me to see it as early as 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And it's really devastating for a lot of young men and women as well. I'm really fortunate that there's so much that we can do to help these young people early. And the earlier they intervene with treatment, the better off they can be.
Growing up, when I did start to notice that hair loss, it definitely affected me and affected my confidence, because I went from, never wearing a hat, growing out my hair in high school, having crazy haircuts, having a ponytail, stuff like that, like a little bun, not a ponytail, but to wearing a hat or a beanie every single day that I went to school. And it was just something that I wanted to hide. I would be super self-conscious, especially in situations where I couldn't wear a hat. So, that was something that really affected my life, and I think it stressed me out even more, the fact that I was losing my hair at such a young age.
As someone who is experiencing hair loss himself, I appreciate how much that you feel like you're losing your manhood and you see your youth being taken away from you. And often it happens way too young. And that's really difficult for people to handle. Many people that suffer from hair loss feel like they're the only ones. And you have to realize that hair loss has no gender bias. It affects both men and women. And over 80 million American men and women in the United States alone suffer from hair loss today. So it affects almost everyone, and it affects both young and old. And it's equally difficult to handle at a young age and at an older age. I mean, there are many men and women that are going into their second half of their life, and they find that they have difficulty getting jobs or getting a new partner because of the fact that they've lost their hair.
Especially today, your image is of great importance, and I think most people will judge you on their image before they judge you in any other way. And so that, having hair loss at a young age or even at an older age can bring a lot of feelings of shame. And looking at social media, we're all thinking that, hey, like the norm is to have hair, the norm is to look this certain way. While in reality, most of those people will or already have experienced hair loss. And there's a solution for each and every one of those people. Like you and me, we all, have that ability to not really fix, but to gain that confidence back through, getting this procedure done. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm super grateful for that, because now I have all the confidence in the world.
I know from dealing with many patients that, particularly with young individuals, that they can't do hair restoration until they're ready for hair restoration. I remember the day that Matthew actually called me to talk about his hair loss, and the first thing I felt was bummed out, actually. Like, oh man, my son's suffering from the hair loss. I knew it was going to happen. And then I felt actually really good, because I had the solution and I was actually going to be able to help him with it. So as a dad, I felt great knowing that not only did I have the answer, but I could actually provide the service for him. So it was really a gratifying experience for me at that point. But I walked him through the process and told him about both the non-surgical and the surgical aspects. and we discussed it as father and son and as patient and doctor, and it was a really great experience for me.
It's super cool seeing my dad in surgery mode because you see everything that's behind it. You see the artwork that's behind it when they're drawing on your head, trying to figure out, where they should put the grafts to see the best growth and to see the best growth pattern. Because obviously, like, your hair doesn't stop receding as soon as you get the surgery, and they perform the surgery in a way that it's gonna keep your hair looking thick and more full, even with the more loss that you receive over time. At first, when I got the surgery done, I would say a month into it, I was like, wow, this didn't work at all. And I tell everybody that gets the surgery done, hey, month 2, like month 1, 2, and start of 3, you're gonna be like, wow, I just wasted a bunch of money. I tell everybody that, and everybody I talk to that's gotten it done, they're like, yeah, exactly. Like, I went through that phase, but then all of a sudden, month 3, 4, 5, the hair starts to grow, and it was that first haircut. I remember it was in December. I got the surgery done in July, and in December when I got that first haircut, I looked at my hair and I was like, whoa, like that's why I got it done. And it was, honestly, it was life-changing. Looking back, like, after that procedure, now I have a lot more confidence, and I think that, honestly, I know that sounds cheesy, but you can't really put a price on confidence. And feeling good about the way you look. In the industry that I work in, we all do sales. There's about 1,000 of us that work in an industry where we go door to door, we do sales, and about 10 or 12 of those guys have gotten surgeries from my dad, and they all just rave about how much confidence it's brought back to them. And I constantly have people coming up to me and just be like, hey, your dad does hair. Like, I know that, he got it done. Can you tell me more about it? And it's always cool to see that and to hear that, because, I have a connection, and that connection is my dad. And I know he's, one of the top surgeons, especially for this in the country, and let alone the world. If this is something that bothers you, and if you feel like you're losing your confidence just like I was, I think you owe it to yourself to get a consultation and see if this is the right path or journey for you.
I really have empathy for all my patients that suffer with hair loss, but I know that when I see parents come in with their children, it really tugs at me in a special way, because it's something that I experienced, and it's a special bond that we have and share. So if you want to experience a life-changing event as well and take care of your hair loss, call us, schedule a consultation at Ziering Medical. I'm sure we have a solution for your hair loss.